Welcome to Module 5, the Elements of Creation Theology in the Old Testament. We're going to especially focus on two really interesting texts this week on Psalm 104 and Ecclesiastes 12. I'll come back to the discussion question that we're going to have around those. In addition to those two texts, there's also some really interesting readings, in my opinion. This William Brown's chapter on from Seven Pillars, and then Fretheim's chapter on God and the World in the Old Testament. And I've also included a very ancient text by one of the church fathers, Basil, on atheism and creation. Many of the early church fathers wrote works on the hexameron. Hexameron is simply their word for the 7 days of creation. And all kinds of church fathers wrote things having to do with the first week of creation and sort of the studies of the created order, focusing on first days of creation. So those are the assigned readings, and then the balance of your reading up to 2 hours you should select from other resources that are focused on your research project for the coming for our last session together. So you'll want to do that reading, your inductive studies on those texts, do the reading of these readings and some additional reading, and get those turned in by Friday. Also, like you to do the next step in preparing for your final project, and that has to do with identifying early on here some good articles and some good books that have to do with your topic. So I've placed a couple of tutorials online here under this link, and you'll find some here that are tutorial page that Charlie Camillo's made for us, that are some general things for finding the best books, and then another one on tutorial on finding articles. I've also created a little one here on finding articles, so you could use that as well. Use these tutorials particularly if you haven't done this kind of library research before, and find half a dozen books and a dozen articles, and order them. In the case of the articles, you ought to be able to download them right on your computer in most cases. If it's a really good one and it's not immediately available, order it through interlibrary loan. And then go into the discussion area, and one post in the discussion area, make one post and tell us what it is that you found, and give us a report on the stuff that you ordered, and in that way you'll get your sort of 10 points for this week's portion of study for your final project. Now the discussion question has to do with these two texts from Psalm 104 and Ecclesiastes 12, both of which are studies of the created order and of their interconnectedness and of the interesting niches, both in terms of space and time frame, that are a part of the created order. One of them is very positive, Psalm 104, in tone and attitude. Ecclesiastes 12 is a sort of a downer. I mean, it's got a real contrast to the tone of Psalm 104. So you'll find each of them interesting in themselves, and I think even more so then because my discussion question will ask you to bring these two together and think about what they collectively say about creation and our attitude toward it, but then also sort of as we think about our pastoral responsibilities as teachers and preachers in congregations of faith. I make the contention that it's important for us to bring both of these truths, the sort of positive and the negative side, in order to create psychologically healthy and balanced people with a balanced understanding of the created order and what it's about. You're welcome to formulate your own opinions. We'll mix it up and talk about this in the discussion area. So I'm looking forward to an interesting week of work together in the class, and look forward to seeing you online. Bye.